evening, and welcome back to the round of 8 here at the Collegiate Star League. Dota2 gets the lead the short road into DreamHack as Cal Poly SLO faces Penn State in this game 2 of 3. Cal Poly played one hell of a game last time and took it, the first one. Penn State desperate to make a comeback here and secure their spot in the grand finals. Big shout out to Twitch, our sponsors, for sponsoring the CSL and featuring our matches weekly. And Asus Republica Gamers is the presenting sponsor of the CSL this year. Asus makes some of the best gaming PCs, laptops, and monitors in the world. And Asus is funding the season's travel to DreamHack and our prize pool for the entire year. Be sure to follow their social media like Asus_ROG and thank them for sponsoring the CSL. Also, don't forget to go to cstarleague.com and enter for your chance to win a gaming laptop from Asus or 2 sweet monitors from them. Your chance to get that, and not a lot of folks are allowed to enter, so definitely a chance to win. Go there, do it. I encourage you because free stuff is the best stuff. My name's Toffees. You can find me at Toffees TV on Twitter. Go, do it. Best choice you'll make all week. And I'm joined here by my co-caster, Gorgon the Wonder Cow. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. You guys can find me over at The Wonder Cow on Twitter. It's not going to be the best decision you made all week, but you
It'll be the second
won't
best.
regret it immediately enough to take it back. So
the Wonder Cow will be the co-caster, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Penn State, tall order. We know that Penn State had a little difficulty putting everybody together for this game. We started a bit late because they were rounding up the troops. We wondered if that would affect the first game. Gorgon, I'm going to walk out on a limb, but I feel like this limb is massive, the size of a tree trunk, and secure because it looked like it in that match.
they are going to give him the Life Stealer again, and the Enchantress. In fact, they didn't ban anything. It could be the exact same strategy, and Penn State had no response last time. This time, they've got some more physical damage with the Spirit Breaker, but if they don't rotate onto this Life Stealer or win both other lanes pretty heavily, I don't see how anything changes.
Definitely. I mean, they get to maybe pick some heroes that do damage that isn't magic based and try to land against the Life Stealer. That's all you can do, right? Because that made so much room for them last time around. So we'll see what happens. So far, Cal Poly has shown great teamwork and great coordination. They won their lanes absolutely last time around, and Penn State is going to have some choices to make. That said, they did make strong rotations. You could get a feel from Penn State when you watch them that they are a rotation-heavy team. Spirit Breaker going to lead that charge, no pun intended, in making sure that their team stays very mobile. I'd look to see a few more draft picks from them that really benefit or capitalize on that mobility. That said, Penn State picks up a Skywrath Mage. What's most of his damage based on?
Well, it's important. This is part of the centerfold of the strategy coming out of Cal Poly, right? Life Stealer, to deal with him, you need a lot of physical damage. Enchantress, to deal with her, you need a lot of magical damage. This is why you get both of them. You're forcing your opponents to diversify or fail. Skywrath Mage is a really good response to Enchantress. Like, very, very strong. She has very low health pool throughout most of the game and relies entirely on the heal over time of nature's attendance and the untouchable annoyance to stop physical damage from coming in. The slow and nuke coming out of Skywrath Mage handles her effectively. Does not handle the Life Stealer effectively, but hopefully Penn State are going to be getting a couple of reliable stuns to try and blow him up with before he can get rage off, some more physical damage through the mid game, and really focus on rotating early and making sure that they're winning both of their other lanes.
Absolutely.
They're going to grab the Doom again. I'm not, or the Doom.
Doom was on the opposite side last time, yeah. So, Doom, I think, is going to be great here. He's going to control some of that escape and problematic issues of Spirit Breaker. We can sort of move around and keep the stuns relevant in these team fights. Skywrath Mage is going to struggle with it. It forces Penn State to rethink some of their picks potentially, especially because they seem to like that team fight orientation. Should be pretty interesting to see what they get here. And now while they're... Oh, never mind. Ember Spirit's going to be the pickup, who seems like a hero who may struggle with the Doom a little bit.
Definitely a hero who struggles with Doom. It's a hero that's going to play very similarly to the Spectre. He needs to have some space opened up for him, and he needs to be able to get out and split. And it didn't work with the Spectre. Ember Spirit can get going earlier than the Spectre can, and may even take that mid-roll that we see him so often and try to grab some combat items to counter out the push. I don't love the Ember Spirit here, to be honest. I don't really see what the Ember Spirit gives them other than potential split push down the road.
How interesting. I can't wrap my head around it. So as we think about it, I do want to remind you guys that it's not only the Ro8 for us here in Dota, it's also the Ro8 for other games like our CSGO, our StarCraft League, our Hearthstone League. All of them starting to wrap up and get ready for Dream League. So every night of the week, going forward for the next 2 weeks, we're going to have the best of collegiate esports in general, whether it's on C-Star League, C-Star League 1, or C-Star League 2. So make sure you check it out. You can follow or sub and get all your best collegiate esports. The brand is growing. Collegiate esports are growing. New scholarships will be offering on a regular basis. I heard the University of California just announced they'll be doing esports scholarships in the next couple of years. So this is a growing thing, man. And you watching, those of you, you proud few, are the future. Thank you for that. Now we see the Earthshaker picked up by SJFCC Poly, and I think that's a really good support based on the lineup and sort of what we're seing from Penn State here.
Bane is a very good hero to deal with the Lifestealer. He goes through Magic Immunity, he can reduce his attack damage, he has a good lane harass, and he can set up for the Skywrath Mage on the Enchantress as well, using that Nightmare. I like the Bane pickup. It doesn't synergize super well with the Ember Spirit, but nothing they have really does. So you just got to kind of take that where it lies, you know. The Earthshaker, it's a fine pick. I don't hate the Earthshaker. It's a long-range stun. It gives some AoE potential. He can contribute to pushes somewhat. I don't absolutely love the Earthshaker pick either, to be honest, but it seems to fit what the team wants to do, and it seems to fit what the team is comfortable with.
Absolutely. I think it also serves as a really frustrating situation for Penn State, because what's going to happen is they do have some great escape potential on their side. I think these fights are going to break out. Penn State's going to depend on sort of engaging and disengaging strategically. And what that Earthshaker, I think, we'll see, and this is just me going out here, is I think that we're going to see that Fissure used as defensively, at the tail end of fights more often than even as an opener. And it's going to prevent the Skywrath Mage and the Bane from sort of getting away when Spirit Breaker and Ember Spirit make a break for things. It's going to allow them to get the follow-up kills and just really manage the pace of Penn State, which they did very effectively last time. So I look forward to seeing it move that way. I think I think that it's going to be a very strong pickup for them.
Penn State let Cal Poly's bans roll over them this game. Have you noticed this? Like, Juggernaut, Wind Ranger, Sven, all heroes that would mitigate that Lifestealer Ancient strategy extremely effectively. All heroes that were allowed to be banned out, and the Ember Spirit is to pick up instead. That is crazy to me. Zeus is going to be out here, give some global, give some nuke, some magic damage that they were sorely missing from a distance. Once again, don't hate it. Into the Ember Spirit, Zeus is not always the best hero, but just because of the magic resist that is offered from the Flame Guard. But, you know, you deal with what you got to deal with. It looks like they're going to run another jungle strategy. So Cal Poly either showing a lot of confidence or not a lot of respect for Penn State.
I think it's probably a little bit of each based on what we saw in the last game. It should be pretty interesting what they do here. It felt like, man, you mentioned this in a chat, that it felt like Cal Poly was trying to send a bit of a message in the last game, and I think that that's exactly what it was. And that Zeus pickup sounds like they're not content with the message being sent in just one. PSU has a tall order ahead of them as we move into Game 2 of this round of 8. Boys and girls, the winner of this match goes to the big show. That means that if Cal Poly pulls this game out, Penn State's road to DreamHack comes to a thundering halt, and Cal Poly can count their plane tickets on their way to play on May 6th in Austin.
And who's copping those tickets? Are the players copping those tickets themselves, Toffees?
Oh, no, it's actually going to be Asus Republic of Gamers. The primary sponsor for us here at the Collegiate Star League came forward and said not only do they want to pay for the prize pool and the scholarships for these players, but they are also footing the bill for all travel, tickets to the event, all the stuff that's required to get all of the team and their coordinators out there to the event. So really, really a big shout out to them, because let's be honest, college esports is sort of a market that isn't really there yet. And Asus Republic of Gamers has seen the future, knows, I think, where it's going. And I work in a lot of high schools, and I see the explosion of esports at the high school level, and I think it's just the next step. And Asus has really embraced that and committed to growing it. So a big thanks to them. If you guys have a chance
That's
to go to
great.
Asus and tweet them, let them know that you appreciate them seeing it as well.
Yeah. So, okay, you might be saying, yeah, Asus is good, way ahead of the curve on this, or helping support collegiate esports in a way that is just monstrous. And yeah, they're flying all these guys out to Austin, big whoop. But for our audience, that doesn't really matter, right? It's not like our audience can be involved in getting some Asus swag or something, right?
Well, they actually can. Asus is so excited about the CSL that they gave us a brand new gaming laptop and 2 brand new gaming monitors. I think this is the 144 Hz guys. Like, these are beasts. And you can win them by going to cstarleague.com and submitting a video about college Dota. I don't care if it's gameplay footage, if it's your favorite team, sort of their history, if it's just a meme video that makes us laugh. If people like it and you make it, you get free stuff, man. I don't think Asus could have gotten any cooler unless they just gave free stuff to everybody who was born, which I don't think is really fiscally responsible.
That's pretty awesome, Asus. Good job, guys. Let's run through our obligatory early game pause with downs here for Cal Poly. We've got Chili on the Enchantress, a Juggernaut taking that Earthshaker. Our Cryptic is going to be from Hell on the Doom. Kazya is going to be making electric on that Zeus, and Banana Slam Jamma BSJ will be taking that Lifestealer for another spin.
And for the dire side, Penn State University trying to win their way back into DreamHack. We're going to have the Voo on the Ember Spirit headed towards that mid position. We're going to have D on the Spirit Breaker. None other than Amaru on the Skywrath Mage. Bane will be played by Toboshu 12222. And QQQ will be playing the Weaver, hoping not to live up to his namesake, as this game has all of the marbles. 0-0 to start, but it may not stay that way for long, as it looks like both teams are going to send a large contingency to the bottom rune. 4-4, we could have a bloodfest to start this thing off. 1 game advantage to Cal Poly. Winner goes all the way, baby. Get ready for some excitement, because all the chips have been put on the table. Last Hit Tonight chart is up for your viewing pleasure. This is going to be exciting.
It shows the difference in these teams' coordination by the fact that Cal Poly has had both of their wards up already for 15 to 20 seconds. Neither ward is up yet for Penn State. They just grouped up on the rune. They didn't necessarily utilize the early game. Cal Poly's been all over this map. They are herpes of the river area. Like, they are anywhere they want to be. They are just popping up and already becoming a pain for PSU. And PSU doesn't even know it yet.
So PSU gets one of the runes, Enchantress gets the other, and we're going to head out. It looks like right now we've got all 5 were gathered there at the mid, and now everyone will scatter their protective positions. BSJ is going to head towards that off lane with the Lifestealer. Juggernaut looks like he wants to give a little bit of harass here for Kazya against the Ember Spirit. Everyone else, the Chili will head towards the bottom lane, and Doom will play a little bit in the jungle to get things rolling.
Yeah, so we had said Cal Poly needs to have at least 1 lane, probably 2 lanes shut down here for the strategy to fail. The BSJ being in the off lane this time is going to make him much more vulnerable, and the Skywrath Mage should be able to zone him relatively effectively compared to last game at least. So that should slow down his role a little bit here, right?
Absolutely.
Now in the bottom lane, Chili should have a better lane than he had last time on the Enchantress. So hopefully that's going to help Cal Poly offset some of this mitigation, but
hopefully if you're a Poly fan, but not if you're a PSU fan, you really want this mitigation to work out for it. QQQ dropping pretty low. He's got to back away. He walked through that tornado 3 or 4 times.
You know, just sometimes you gotta go Twister, that 90s movie with what's her face?
Oh, Helen Hunt.
The danger, man. Yeah, Helen Hunt, man.
Boom. That was a movie about love. It was a metaphor.
It was a movie about following tornadoes. I don't know
what the tornadoes were represented love. That's why it's a long story, but it was a metaphor. Trust me, I studied it in film class. It was frustratingly annoying. All right.
I'm pretty sure it was a movie about tornadoes, like the kind that we're seeing in this game.
Oh man, like we saw in the last game too. Cal Poly was an unstoppable tornado. What? Tell me where? Ping, God damn it.
Oh no, never mind. It split up. They rotated 2 and a stun, but the stun didn't cut across. So it probably ideally that would have been the angle. It just wasn't there, and they just walked away.
All right, Chili gets Slime Face. QQ does proc a Germinate, lucky enough, and will harass that Enchantress back. But she's got the hills to pay the bills, and she'll move forward, playing pretty aggressively. Bounty Runner's going to get grabbed up on both sides. Top lane, this 2-1-2 actually working out pretty well for PSU at the moment. D at 13-2, 10-3 on the Ember, but things might get real as Juggernaut comes forward. Tried to make something happen against you, but Kazuya just wasn't back in time with the mana to close that deal. Meanwhile, on the bottom, Chili being chased again, put Slime Face on the Weaver, and they end up losing their chance to make the dive. So Chili's going to hide out and heal up, I would imagine, as every time he's come forward at half health, they have put everything they have into trying to kibosh his ability to get farm.
While Penn State are relegating their courier straight up bottle growing right now for just trying to deal with the Zeus. Like, the Ember is completely controlling the courier at the moment, which is great for Cal Poly. They have a jungler, which all that means is that they want to minimize the rotation value of PSU so that their jungler can effectively rotate and not really get caught out by early items or caught out by early availability. And now this Bane is going head to head with the Doom in the jungle. Doom is going to chase a little bit, but he will probably bail on this.
Right. Yeah. Bane was like, "You're low, I'll mess with you." Doom was like, "Yeah, feel free, dude. No biggie."
He Shell Silverstein that. He went to the sidewalk's end and then turned back to his own jungle.
I like it. That's a good reference. It wasn't the greatest reference, like, usage functionality, but I think it was pretty good.
You know, it wasn't Twister, the movie about love and storms. But, you know, it's something.
I got distracted for a second. Late night, guys. Both me and Gorgon were expecting to have cast a long time ago. But, hey, we're having fun. This has been a pretty entertaining game so far. Chili QQ going back and forth here on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Woo Woo at 17-3, 19-0 for the Zeus. Doing a good job of getting his own farm. Juggernaut on standby. Looks like he wants to come in and make something happen. BSJ could be in some trouble as they go and harass him into the trees. They're going to block him back, make the move. There's the stun. The combo is there. This is gonna be the first blood.
Yeah, one way or another.
There it is. TP came out from Juggernaut, almost got there in time to at least make it a 1-for-1, but a few seconds too late, and BSJ will give up the first blood. So we'll see if this has a long-term effect on him in this game.
In the bottom, this Bane has had an invisibility rune for the longest time, unable to really utilize it. Using that spring update, by the way, to see the exact distance and sitting on the line volleyball rules style, waiting for that Enchantress to get anywhere near attackable. But they have no lockdown in this lane, so this Enchantress is not assaultable. Maybe if the Weaver were getting Swarm instead of Geminate attack, the negative armor would help out with that goal. But with the builds that they've gone, there's just no way they kill this Enchantress. It can't be done. It's impossible, Toffee.
I mean, we've seen a lot of... It's not as impossible as it was, you know, to kill BSJ at the beginning of last game, right? There's still something that you could maybe make it happen. The last game was just ridiculous.
There are different forms of infinity, math students will tell you.
What?
Right?
That can't be.
They're all still infinity.
That's a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Math is dumb.
Go back to your film class. study tornado more.
Touche, sir. Touche. All right, let's take a look at where we're at right now. It's 6 minutes in. Last hits are definitely favoring the Dire at this particular moment. Chili getting very aggressive down here against Q, taking a lot of damage, goes ahead and pops up the heal, and is still being very aggressive against QQQ.
Yeah, QQQ is
until the Germinate procs.
Best spot. Like, the Weaver shouldn't be able to farm here, but never mind. They are gonna. I totally lied. Oh, never mind. They are still unable to do it. I was right. I shouldn't have second guessed myself. And the Weaver dies because of it.
Snap, crackle, zap. Gotcha, says Zeus. Leaves a mark on the ground to remind us all of the bug that got stomped. So I guess we give Enchantress credit for that. She was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and we're gonna get the kill. And he used his magic stick, kept himself up, and 1-1 is the result. Great kill for Zeus.
If he wanted to be a real baller, he would have stayed just close enough to the Zeus to get
the XP. Yeah. I think he was scared of that Bane.
He would have died if he did. He would have died. He was very, very close.
But it would have been cool. It would have been baller as hell. QQQ's back, immediately going to start to push this lane just a little bit. Get a couple shots on the tower. Hope for Germinates. None actually proc there. Now we see a charge to Juggernaut. It'll just get to be in position. I doubt that he will continue this charge all the way through, especially because Almoro is backing now. Meanwhile, in the mid position, Woo still continues to farm his Woo off, but he's not getting, I don't think, as much as he wants to be right now. That Zeus has done a good job of causing him not to come as far forward as he would have liked in this game.
If I could just tell you how many times I've not been getting my woo-woos off as much as I'd like to be. That's what I heard you say just now. Was I totally off on that?
I was trying to figure out what Gemini is not percentage based means.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either. All right, 500. It's late, man. 500 gold to PSU.
I think he's talking about Geminate attack.
Oh, that's not percentage based. I see what you're saying.
Did somebody say it was?
No, I said neither one procced. I wasn't thinking clearly. He was right. It was not percentage based.
He was right. Whatever. It's not your specialty, you know. If Geminate attack had storms and metaphors for love, then we'd be sad. I don't know why I'm so fixated on this. It's a late night. Okay, up top.
Whoa, QQQ taking a lot of damage. Gets to TP away just in time. Kazuya comes forward, puts up some damage. Wants to try and get a Shade out on D. He goes down, though. A nice rotation towards the top lane. Now the chase is on. They want Juggernaut, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to drop down. Penn State goes up to a 3-0. D should be able to deny off and will survive here just barely. And this is what Penn State wanted to do in the last game, and they're effectively doing it this time around. Let's move to the net worth chart here, as things are looking significantly better for PSU than it did at this time in the game, or at this time last game. And I think that they have to be a lot happier. It looks like getting that game out and done with was the right choice for them. They seem like they're in a better place communication-wise. Those TPs on top were very crisp and very clean.
Yeah, last game, if Enchantress was doing this slow push onto the bottom tower, they would have rotated 4 down here, not gotten the kill, and then just gotten siege somewhere else. Here, they are allowing the Enchantress to do her business, rotating 1 person down as necessary, and applying pressure somewhere else to make, at worst, a trade. They are trying to apply pressure, and they drafted to apply pressure onto the Lifestealer, slowing him down. He does have a Black Dragon now, but they are not over-engaging to the Black Dragon.
So Chili's going to go away. They tried to ignore the dragon. Dragon's going to go back out through tower side. Chili should, not get away here. The charge from the Spirit Breaker comes through. Follow-up charge, and they will finish the job. Leaves it for QQQ. Gets the kill, and with the Sakuchi, and 4-1. So really, really effective. They made the same dive they tried to do last time, going behind the tower with BSJ inside of the Black Dragon, but it did not work as effectively, because this time I think PSU was a little more prepared for it.
Yeah, in terms of just net worth, they're not nearly as far ahead. This time, last game, 4 of the top 5 were on Cal Poly. Now it's 2 of the top 5, right? And the Lifestealer is on top of Cal Poly, but this is exactly what I was talking about at the end of last game, how you counter out this strategy. If the Lifestealer is way ahead of his team can't back him up. Right. He can't really be handled, but he doesn't push that well. Like, he wipes out creeps, but it's a very slow siege. Even if his opponents can't deal with him, they can ignore him. And he's not farming as fast doing this slow push strategy as he would be if he wasn't sitting in the dragon. This is why this strategy fails so often at professional levels of play, where team coordination is so much better.
All right, let's look at the push down here on the bottom. Sorry to make a quick, some of you might have just noticed an overlay change that we had to do on the fly, but I think it looks sexier now, so enjoy. Now the bottom lane under serious assault. Chili, Cryptic, and BSJ here. TPs are coming in. QQQ, Saguchi's around. There's the charge on Cryptic. Wants to make something happen. Dragon still in deep. There's 4 ready to play. They go on Cryptic. Ignore the Black Dragon. Cryptic dropping very low. Ultimate coming out from the Skywrath Mage. Lots and lots of damage. Going to get locked up. Cryptic's going to go down. Skywrath Mage dies as well. Meanwhile, BSJ doing the harass on QQQ. He had to come out. QQQ backs off. D runs back into BSJ, but charges in the opposite direction. Managed to get himself out of dodge just in time. Chili, a bit far forward, has to watch out for Woo-oo-oo, and BSJ will also be on the run, taking some damage from that Flame Guard, turns back around, and TPs to safety.
Yeah, nice rage TP out. There was really no other option there. Right now, Lifestealer is relatively weak, even though he is on top of the net worth. Most of his net worth is not even spent on items, because he is going for the Radiance again. So he's got 2,100 gold out of his 4,300. That is just straight up not into any combat item at all. Not into any item whatsoever. which means that even though it looks like Cal Poly on paper should be about even with Penn State, they really aren't.
All right, so the gold lead is now, like you said, back in favor of Cal Poly just barely, but PSU has really managed the experience here. And I think if you compare their games, last game to this game, I don't know if night and day is too strong, but it definitely feels like a 180-degree turnaround.
They knew what they were coming into this time.
I guess that's fair.
It doesn't feel like, or didn't feel like they were even remotely aware what the strategy was going to be last time, and they had no rotations, they had no attempts to kill heroes. This time they've gotten around, they've been moving on to objectives as they need to, they've been itemizing better and faster. The Ember Spear does have his boots of travel up, so he can apply pressure globally when this Lifestealer does get up. It's going to be slow going, and Lifestealer, farming this Radiance takes a long time when you're constantly in Ancients. Like, they do not do that much damage, and they are not very effective at taking out tons of creeps, unlike Lifestealer himself, who is relatively effective at doing that on his own.
All right, vision for the Dire a little weak at the moment. Radiant slightly better. No team really focused on crossing the river at this particular moment in time. So it's 13 minutes in. It looks like the push is developing on the bottom lane. We got that Invis rune from Bane, who's going to be using that new patch to make sure he doesn't get seen. There's the grab on Chili, and he is going to get frozen in place. Dropped like a rock, and they should start to push the bottom lane here after that kill. Meanwhile, in the mid position, there's the stun out on D. D's going to make the jump on Kazaya. Wu comes in. Juggernaut dropping low. Kazuya dropping low. Kazuya goes with the ult. He wants D. D's going to get away, but Kazuya most likely will not as Wu keeps the chase going, but there's BS. Jay gets the slow, goes for Wu. Kazuya lives, and Wu doesn't. 2 for 1 Enchantress on the bottom, and a 1 for 1 in the mid. They're going to lose that bottom tower, though. So let's take a stock of where we're at right now, Gorgon. 14 minutes in, PSU executing their push, significantly stronger than last time. Cal a little bit on the back foot. What are we going to look at these two teams attempting to accomplish over the next 10 minutes?
Well, in terms of Cal Poly, what they really need to do is, if they're going to go for this Radiant strategy, and it seems like they want to, they need to get up very soon. One more tower will do it, pretty much. He's almost to his first component, and he will be there very soon. He's almost to his Sacred Relic. Wow, I totally dropped the ball on that. In terms of fighting, they probably don't want to fight too much before. They just don't have any actionable damage coming out of the Lifestealer. He's just there for zoning right now until that comes out. In terms of what Penn State want to do is just continue to apply the pressure. If they could kill the Lifestealer, that would be great, but they would need to commit at least a Fiend script to it. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. Up top,
he jumps to safety. They're going to chase him, though, it looks like. We got the invisible Juggernaut. He will follow Wu to keep vision up on him, but rotation for help coming in. We are going to bring 3 for a push, it looks like. Meanwhile, on the bottom, we've got 3 heroes who are sort of just running in circles, figuring out what to do with themselves. Juggernaut scouts out Wu. D is going to hide in the trees. Wu in some trouble, walks into the stun, jumps away. The fissure does not get him, and D will get stunned, so he can't come in to try and get a re-engagement. TPs come out fast and furious from PSU. These guys got itchy TP fingers, and this particular time, it doesn't really pay off. The TP is not necessary as the gank fell apart before they actually made the TPs come up.
Itchy TP finger sounds like a condition that you get if you camp for too long.
I see what you did there. Itchy TP finger is that moment when the TP breaks and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
All right. So gold.
God
damn it.
I had to think pensively about that. That was serious, like, philosophical thought that I was just going through. All right. Sacred Relic is up on the Lifestealer. He should have his Radiance up very soon. Once again, a tower would basically do it, but he can get it through creeps if he wants to as well. Not a lot of items coming out this game. There's a Hand of Midas on the Spirit Breaker. I guess the game's going well enough that he can justify it. It gives him some attack speed for his bashes, but it's not helping him slow down Cal Poly, who do have a lot of cores, right? They had a jungler, and that does tend to mean they go into the late game pretty effectively.
Absolutely. You think that with the kill count, they would have a little more in terms of net worth control. In fact, PSU has it by 500 right now, as well as the experience. So it's a very close game. No team really in control of this match at this point. And I think that is a testament to Cal Poly's ability to sort of stay calm, which surprises me based on some of the things I've heard about their past performances, and make sure that they just get themselves back into this. We now have the Doom farming in the jungle. He's finished up the buckler, the drums, I believe. I assume he's going to a mech off of this one.
Yes, right.
What else would he do? Obviously.
Right. That's so he's going to. Well,
I don't know if there's some tricky dicky thing that I'm not seeing.
I'm not sure. It's either Mech or Crimson Guard. The
Right.
Crimson Guard super effective here. So,
Whoa.
especially since a lot of the damage is eventually going to be splash damage, which Crimson Guard does not help with at all.
So we gave Spirit Brick, a hard time about picking up the Hand of Midas, but it worked. He got a solo kill there on the Earthshaker. Cryptic's going to come through and harass Woo a little bit. And now we see the charge on him, so Cryptic could be in a little bit of trouble as they're going to chase, but I think he's going to get close enough to the tower that he should be okay. There's the follow. Cryptic low. He's got the Doom available if he wants to use it. He puts it on Woo. Woo immediately starts to run, knowing escape is going to be difficult, but here comes the Cavalry. They throw out the zoning. All right, they zone back nicely with the Swarm, and will fall back to their lane. Upside, they got a really great ward that's going to allow them to take this tower without too much trouble.
Yeah, that was a pretty good engagement for Penn State, to be honest. Like, they took a risk, but they didn't go and over-engage on it. Once their investment had turned sour, they said, okay, we didn't actually put that much into it. We didn't get anything out of it. We'll fall back and regroup a little bit later on. The Spirit Breaker, like you said, using Hand of Midas, now going into an Ogre Club, possibly a Black King bar.
Well, they got the Doom out, which is phenomenal.
Right, and they also got the Doom, right, which is a big part of that. In terms of items, Lifestealer's still waiting on that Radiance. The Dragonlance is up on Chili, the Enchantress, and the Radiance just got finished as well.
All right, so Cal Poly definitely be looking to take some fights here with that Radiance out and the Dragonlance. They're in a better position than they were a few minutes ago. I think that what we saw was a bit of a slowdown there as Cal Poly said, let's get control back into this. We've got what we need going forward. Aether Lens is all finished up, or it looks like a Force Staff is on the way for Kaziev here pretty soon. And Doom has been able to pick up a little more in terms of farm and keep kind of moving forward here. He's been jungling non-stop, really, other than that gank attempt that pushed him back to the base. Gold lead is 1,500 for PSU at the moment, so still relatively close. Have we seen any big items come out for PSU? I guess Perseverance is finished up. Ember Spirit's doing pretty well.
Yeah, Ember Spirit's getting close to his Battle Fury, but he doesn't have it yet. Really nothing to talk about yet. Though Weaver will have Lincoln soon, which will help, but it won't be super great. Like, it won't protect from Zeus's ult. It won't protect from...
I don't even understand how Bane died right there.
I wasn't watching.
What?
If I'm being honest. Nothing got spent. A rage got spent. So, just maybe burn. The Lifestealer got the kill, so maybe he just chased him down.
Oh, you know what happened? I'll bet he went in with the Ancient, so I didn't see it on the map.
Yeah.
Killed him and then did his rage TP. God damn it. That's the worst part of this strategy is I'm not trained to watch for that tiny little dot. I'm gonna have to. You know what? To prepare for DreamHack, I am literally if Cal Poly wins, I'm just gonna have to go watch a bunch of replays of BSJ doing this strategy back in his climb to 6K and practice following that stupid dot.
Or you just go watch any Alliance game from the first 2 weeks of this patch.
Or make him hire
They
dedicated
loved
ops. That'd be
this
pretty
strat.
cool. D moves in on Chili. Chili dropping pretty low. Gonna get backed up by... Getting backed up by the Skywrath Mage. Chili goes for the TP. Gets himself out. Nicely done.
Skywrath Mage is such a good response to the Enchantress, but not if you have no way to hold her in. Right? Like, death from the sky only works if your opponents can't look up at the sky and sidestep.
It is going to be a mech with face boots, by the way.
Yeah. There's really no other option there. And remember, Cal Poly is push dependent. They've got this strategy where they have a hero who can dive indefinitely and just war of attrition his way to victory behind towers. And that only works if you can actually knock towers down. Zeus doesn't do that. Doom doesn't really do that. Earthshaker doesn't really do that. Enchantress does okay tower damage, but they need the ability to sustain everybody except the Earthshaker, because they certainly aren't going to have the physical damage to knock towers down quickly.
Gold Lead is now definitely on Cal Poly's side at about 1,000, 500 XP as they continue to farm very aggressively here. The guys from PSU getting kind of grouped up here in lane, thinking about pushing. But again, I keep seeing this from PSU and it's starting to worry me, where they'll have 3 heroes on a lane just in case. Meanwhile, Cal Poly's got everyone else out there either contesting and pushing back or farming. So there's just way less downtime, it feels like, on Cal Poly as opposed to what PSU is doing at the moment.
Okay, yeah, so PSU do have the Lincolns up on the Weaver now, which is going to be the primarily to defend against Doom. Which is great, except there are a handful of spells out there to lift Lincolns. If the communication is good from Cal Poly, that won't be very much of an obstacle for them. If the communication is not spot on, though, then Weaver just became very difficult to kill.
So it looks like they want to take a fight here. Juggernaut's going to fall backwards. The charge is coming at him very fast. Juggernaut turns around, gets a nice fissure up, and that should force a cancellation of the charge. So nice job using that high ground advantage, getting himself out of trouble. Meanwhile, BSJ takes his creeps to the Ancient, stacks him up, farms them, and grabs himself his favorite, the Black Dragon. He's going to find D in the jungle with the rest of the crew. They're thinking about turning around and going on him and decide, I just hate that dragon so much, we're not going to bother. Let him do him.
I just want to say, this has got to be, like, if this Doom goes into a Yasha, a Yule Scepter, and eats a Kobold Taskmaster, so he's got Phase Boots and Drums already. For some reason, going Phase Boots instead of Mana Boots, right? To go into Creeps, for reasons unknown. He's just going straight move speed. Like, he wants to just chase people down, which is really what the life.
All right, here's a big engagement. Moving on Juggernaut first. We see the Black Dragon come back. D gets a nice stun on Juggernaut, dropping low. D gonna fall though. That's one down. Immediately buyback. He's gonna charge back into the fight, but not before we see Skywrath down. Skywrath buys back as well. The Doom is up on the Weaver. He's gonna run for safety, but he's chased by the Dragon and the Doom. Chili taking a lot of damage, wants to go on Woo. Woo jumps away to safety. D left behind. D's moving on Cryptic. Cryptic very low. Weaver goes down to the Life Stealer. D runs back, wants Cryptic, puts himself at risk for it. Armor is going to go down. The Black Dragon has returned. D in some trouble. That is 4 down. Ember Spirit lives, but it was a double buyback to make that possible. Look at this. Look at this. Double buyback. 1 man dead. Tower down. Push is real. PSU was in control. And I mean, literally, this gold graph. This gold graph is erect for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, it is entirely PSU's fault as well. They way overengaged into that. The fact that the Life Stealer has a Radiance should tell them that they need to pick their pitch very carefully. The slow siege is the strategy from Cal Poly, and the way that you move into that is you let your split pusher split push, right? You apply pressure elsewhere to force them back. You don't necessarily want to go into just a maelstrom of damage and mischance, right? Cal Poly really just baited the hook for PSU there.
Yeah, maybe that mech was the right. I mean, maybe that mech phase boost was the right choice. Yeah,
the mech was definitely the right choice. The phase boost was weird. Phase boost was weird. Mech makes perfect sense. I still want to see Cyclone Staff, Kobold Taskmaster, Aura, and Yasha.
I've heard rumors that Cryptic is. People call Cryptic the Ricky Bobby of Dota 2. So, not too surprised.
Wow. Okay, so he does have 1 boot for each foot now, which is great.
So he's doing it. He's doing it. All right, I dig it. He is. So he's the Ricky Bobby. He just wants to go fast, man. Look at him. He's just going, and he's also doing that. He's aggressively farming the jungle, showing up to kill fights.
362. This is a true story, and you know I don't like to talk about my pub history in games, but when I used to play Dota 1, I would exclusively play him as a level death move speed monster. Like, I would actually go for Kobold Taskmaster and I would max level death and just chase people down and level death them over and over again until they died. The hero obviously doesn't work that way anymore, but it's fun. So maybe he's just going for something like that. It's like, it's fun to move.
All right, fighting the Roche pit. D's going to charge in, puts himself in harm's way. He drops down. There's the ulti from the Zeus. The damage is too much. Out pops BSJ. It's a double. It's a triple. And they're just going to keep doing their thing. Go back, finish up the Roche. No harm, no foul, except for PSU. Oh my god, 7,500 to the advantage for Cal Poly right now. 5,000 in gold. These fight recaps are so one-sided that if this was professional boxing or the UFC, they wouldn't even let them fight.
No, there would have been a tap out already in one of these death holds. Weaver is farming the jungle, which is not something Weaver does particularly well. I'm not sure why Weaver isn't pushing mid. He's got a Lincoln's and
hashtag desperation.
He should be pretty safe going into the mid. Like, he's got a Lincoln's up. It's daytime, so he's got good vision. He knows his opponents are in the Roche pit. He should be forcing a trade. To Ember Spirit's credit, he is up here trying to force a trade. He's getting a decent chunk of this tower out. I suspect that it won't be enough, but at least he's trying to apply pressure. QQQ is confusing me right now. And is he going into a Maelstrom? Tell me he's not going into a Midas. He just has casual Gloves of Haste.
Well, maybe it's just a casual Gloves of Haste. You know, crazy life. 7,500 gold, by the way. XP at almost 7,000 as well. And Dire desperate to try and get control of this game.
It is Maelstrom.
I mean,
which makes sense. It's an okay item.
A little while ago, PSU was very comfortable. Things went bad. Mid-fight, not working out so well. What does PSU do to get themselves back into this right now?
Stop running into Cal Poly's goddamn arena, right? If you're trying to beat the Terminator, you don't go to this date and time that the Terminator arrives waiting to fight you. You sneak up on him and you kill him in a factory. So they need to find a factory, and then they need to lure Cal Poly into said factory and then defeat them.
All right, so they tried. The factory was the Roche pit. They tried to engage him in there.
Cal Poly was already there.
They lost 3, right? It's a great lure if they've already wandered in, I guess.
Yeah. Luring from behind, the American strategy of Roche pit engagements.
All right, now we're gonna look to the high ground. Big ol' push coming in. Black Dragon on hand, putting up some damage. Pink's gonna have to TP back. They're calling in the cavalry. Chili pretty comfortable, sticks around, gets hit by the swarm, and they're just gonna leave BSJ up front, happily doing his DPS. They're gonna be dropping that tower pretty low. QQQ turns back around. He's a little brave enough to be forward. Now we see Chili take a shot, but heals right back up. Bane's gonna come in. Takes a bit of too much damage. QQQ thinking about the charge. There it comes D. This is the fight. Kazuya dropping very low. QQQ goes down though. D wants Kazuya. Kazuya gonna go down to D, but D takes a shot from Juggernaut. He has the Aegis. Kazuya's coming right back. D's gonna go down. No, he's not. He escapes. Gets to safety just in time, but he's too far away to help. As he's not gonna be able to come back and make anything. There it is. There's the TP move. Now we see BSJ turn back around, wants to go on Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit is going to jump to safety, and once again, tower is left exposed. 3 heroes down. Everybody else low. I don't even know anymore, man. I just don't know what you do.
At this point in time, they have to give up the racks, which is a bummer, but they've just got to let it go. They've got tier 2 in both other lanes. They're going to glyph. That buys time. I just don't see the defense happening here, though. Doom is still up. There's not...
Here comes the charge. They're going to do something. Cryptic comes in, but a nice Fisher comes out from Juggernaut. Prevents Wu from jumping with the Battle Fury. It's going to cost D his life. Now the Sleight of Fist. He's got to run to safety. Cryptic doing a great job just staying forward and taking the brunt of it. Sleight of Fist still putting in some work with Battle Fury. Just doesn't have enough complementary damage. We're going to see a death to the melee racks. Push onto the range. He decides it's not worth staying anymore. BSJ leads the charges. They back away. Cryptic going to get caught by the Bane. BSJ turns back. Wants to come in on 1-2-2. He's in trouble. Fiend's Grip gets canceled. QQQ. Too far forward. Doom is up. He's going to go down. That is 3, 4. Can they make it 5? They want the Ember Spirit. He's so low. They almost get him. They got him. It's a 5-man wipe. The only buyback is on the Ember Spirit. The racks will die. Cal Poly looks like this is their game. 13,000 at the gold lead at this point. 12 in terms of XP, and it looks like BSJ will probably walk on down here, get himself a golem to continue his annoying streak of having ancients to sit inside of, and Cal Poly does what we don't see a lot of teams do. They get an advantage and they walk away with it, Gorgon. They didn't push out, take any risks making dives. They just said, we got what we wanted. We got a 5-man wipe. Let's go back to business.
PSU should have learned by now that trickle-in combat is about as effective as trickle-down economics. It just doesn't work. They should have, you heard me say in that fight, they just have to give up the racks. It hurts, but there are acceptable losses. Like, you live to fight another day if you don't throw everything away trying to defend. A Rax that honestly would not have been the end of the game. They have a Weaver who's going for a Maelstrom, so he can deal with supers very easily. And then you've got an Ember Spear. Like, this is not... One lane of Rax would not be the end of the world, especially since the tier 2s were so up. And by the way, you saw Banana Slam Jammer rotate to the bottom lane to try and knock down that tier 3, not even realizing that he had a tier 2 still to go through. He was ready to end this game.
He was ready. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. These guys thought they were playing earlier, so it's tough to be up this late, to be honest with you, if you're not planning on it. These guys are college students. They've got classes in the morning. They've got to skip, generally. So, I mean, that takes effort to hit the alarm clock and not go to class when you're tired. BSJ keeps leaning into this lane pretty aggressively. Meanwhile, Juggernaut and Cryptic are just going to be in the background, making sure that he stays safe. They're actually smoked in the trees there, hoping for a gank when someone came forward. Not going to happen, though. BSJ goes on QQQ. QQQ's got to run backwards, taking a lot of damage, and BSJ will just stick around with that Radiance, causing the harassment. Meanwhile, Enchantress will come forward. Doesn't hit the tower. Is going to do the assist with the Haste Rune. And now the creeps come in. This will be a dead tower and probably a high ground push. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Kazuya and Ro8A are going head-to-head here. Kazuya looks like he could be in some trouble. Here's the TP from Juggernaut. What a stun!
What a dodge!
Wow!
The Ember Spear, though, using that Slide of Fist.
But
and then he used Slide of Fist and then activate Fire Remnant to dodge.
Nice. All right, so that was pretty kick-ass. Some nice individual play there by both. Max range stun on Ro8A. I actually don't even know how that hit, as the animation wasn't even on top of it. And they will manage to get to safety. They lose the bottom tower. That said, it could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Guess who's got a dragon again?
You know, this Maelstrom is okay, and you heard my ambivalence about this item choice earlier.
Sorry.
You heard my ambivalence about this earlier, this Maelstrom. Like, it's fine. It helps him push supers. It helps him defend against some of his pushes. But when your opponents are doing a Life Stealer Ancient strategy, a Desolator would be so much better.
Yeah.
The Midas was way too greedy from the Spirit Breaker. Since he got that, he has not been impactful in this game at all. He got, I think, 1 kill since he
because he had to go to a BKB afterwards. So, like, where is his damage output? Where is his potential there? I don't like it. No offense to you, Spirit Breaker.
Imagine if he, instead of going the Midas, he'd gone for a combat item and rotated to try and get ganks, gotten less gold, but also held his opponents relatively back more. Would have been much more effective. He BKBs way early on that charge, and he is going to be in here taking a lot of damage from the Enchantress.
All right, so we're going to see Cryptic come forward. QQQ jumps backwards. There's the play on Kazuya. They are going to get him low. They knock him down very quickly, but it puts themselves very far forward. Black Dragon putting in some work. D dropping low. Wants to move on Chili. Gets the stun. In comes QQQ. He actually gets the kill on the Enchantress. D will go down in the meantime. Doom is up on Ro8A. He's in some trouble. Can't get away. Now they see Toboshu. Juggernaut left behind. He will fall down, but Cryptic is here putting in the fight. BSJ has returned from his last one. Buyback now on the Ember Spirit Desert to make something happen. He's very low. The Radiance does the work. The right click finishes the job. QQQ's got nowhere to go except back to base, but not the way he wanted. BSJ, the last man standing. It's 4v5. 9 dead if you know your math. Buyback counted makes it 10. BSJ will maintain the push by himself and force the buyback, I presume, by that Weaver.
This is great. It's just like reading Shakespeare. Everybody dies.
No kid. I just taught Macbeth yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So this is convenient.
Yeah. Well, this just send your students off to this game because this is pretty much it.
Well, yep, melee racks dropping low. BSJ wants to fight, puts up the slow at Amro, notes he's the only one up right now. There's the rescue, but for how long? Not long enough. He will go down. BSJ will go right back out. The charge is coming up. The TPs are there. His team is pinging him, saying get backwards. The charge will come through. Do they have enough to finish the job, though, is the real question here. BSJ, BKB from D. D taking a ton of damage. Has to run away now. BSJ on the chase. Turns his sights to Toboshu, I'm sorry. There's the Infest, the Explode. He gets a double, a godlike streak, and he's doing this just by himself. He gives 0 fucks.
It's the trickle in method of combat. Once again, not working out for the underclass at PSU.
Oh my god.
It's
Wow.
they're too far gone at this. They're clearly tilted. They are making
Yeah.
terrible game decisions.
If they were a
And
pinball machine, I'd be
bad
putting them up
player.
for retirement.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they were a pinball machine, you would have lost your ball
For
for
those
sure.
of you
100%.
viewers, pinball machines are old video games.
They're not video games. They're
mean,
real world games. They've got buttons, and
They
some
got-
of them have screens.
You say buttons like I do. Okay. And
Yeah,
I
we're
ju-
both from Midwesty sort of
I'm from
talk.
Hawaii, you dick. I drink
Yeah,
from
but
ham.
you
I understand. I get headaches all the time when I sleep in. You are correct. So look at this. Woo 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 all the way forward here. And he's pinged out by Cryptic, who has the Doom available, and is trying to find him to do it, basically. And Woo just juking in circles. Now Cryptic's going to hide in the trees, comes out, puts up the blink, but Ember is gone. So close,
This
yet
is
so
the
far.
game. Last game, remember, I was like, oh, PSU should really just call GG and preserve themselves. This game, I respect their decision.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Like, okay, so we're in a game right now. By the way, if you didn't know, we're in a game. Cal Poly is at 26,000 gold to the lead. They're at almost 25,000 XP to the lead. But if they win this match, they go to DreamHack. PSU is done. An entire season of gaming disappears in a wisp of smoke.
But if Cal Poly wins this because they are up a game, they literally go to compete at DreamHack representing their school against 3 other collegiate teams. If PSU loses this game, they lose out on that opportunity. Just hold out to the Ancient Falls. Even if it looks very unlikely that they could possibly pull a win here. But you know what? Do whatever you can. They do have an Ember Spirit. They've got a Weaver who won Maelstrom. Like, they got the push. He actually went straight Mjolnir. This guy's not kidding around.
Uh-oh, here they go. Big last engagement, making a move. They doing the charge, going behind enemy lines. They want to go on Kazuya first out of the game, but Chili turns back around. Kazuya dropping low to D, but Cryptic's going to get locked up here. Chili putting in some serious work. Tuboshu go down. Nice ulti from the Zeus. Now the follow-up on QQQ, trying to run, but the Doom is there. He will die. Boom goes the Dynamite. Smash goes Woo Woo. Turned into a dead man as a great Blink Echo Slam finishes that job. 3 down. Push is real. Last set of racks. This is all she wrote. If there were a fat lady, she would be singing, boys and girls.
They're going to the end, the bitter end.
They don't want to be.
buybacks.
They don't want to
They're
be
gonna limp it,
VG at TI3 baby or TI4 baby. They want to be the team that put it all on the floor.
That's
There's
class.
the GG. That is class.
That's classic. Good luck further. GG, well played. I know there was some animosity
Yep.
between these teams because there was a scheduling conflict, and yeah, I like to see that. You know I'm a big fiend for good sportsmanship, so I'll let you take us out.
Absolutely, guys. Well, it's been fun. Congratulations to Cal Poly for their advance to DreamHack, but also a big shout out to the players of PSU who have put together great performances throughout this tournament. Making it to the Elite 8 is no small achievement. I look forward to seeing what they accomplish as a team going forward. That's 7. Cal Poly, I look forward to seeing you at DreamHack Austin. Don't forget to get your tickets, guys, and join us there on the first weekend in May. My name's Toffees. You can find me at Toffees TV. I'm joined here by Gorgon the Wonder Cow. Where can they find you, sir?
You guys can find me and updates on all my writing, casting, and other work at the Dota scene at The Wonder Cow on Twitter.
And don't forget to follow at C Star League over on Twitter as well, so that you can see what other games we're doing. We've got StarCraft, Hearthstone, CSGO, and League of Legends also going right now, preparing themselves for the grand finals. Lots of games every night right here at this place. So make sure you hit that follow button. We really appreciate you guys joining us tonight to help support the growth of collegiate esports. It's been a wonderful night with you. We'll be in chat for just a little while if you want to give us feedback, or if you want to say anything mean or kind. At Toffees TV is a great place to send it to. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the music. Congratulations again to Cal Poly, guys. I look forward to seeing you at the event. And as always, Toffees out.
past, and now there's no way we could ever go back. And now it's only a matter of time before a storm of wonder starts to fill my mind. And for the first time in a long time, you're the first one to make me feel like I want you more than I do. I cannot take my eyes off of you. If you're a storm, I'll dance in the rain. You took me and swept me away. I'm tossed and turned, thrown by the wind. This is an orchestration of beautiful moments that I don't want to end. Hold on, hold on, hold on by my fingertips. I want you more than I do. I cannot take my eyes off of you. If you're a storm, I'll dance in the rain. And hold on by my fingertips. I want you more than I do. I cannot take my eyes off of you. If you're a storm, I'll dance in the rain. You took me and swept me away. I'm tossed and turned, thrown by the wind. This is an orchestration of beautiful moments that I don't want to end. Hold on by my fingertips. Nothing's ever felt this right. Crossing the